Kyo Tea House is a cafe that serves matcha teas, beverages and sweets. Their special ingredient they incorporate into almost all of their products is the superfood matcha. There are 2 cafes, both located in popular shopping centres, including Chadstone and Emporium. Kyo Tea House operates within the cafe and coffee shops industry, which we will touch on more later in the presentation. This presentation is intended to discover whether Kyo Tea House has a competitive advantage over other players within the industry by analysing the internal environment, external environment and their business level strategy.
Internal environment of Kyo Tea House, so starting off with their tangible resources, they have an ability to borrow money, evident through assets such as the stores, which they can borrow against. Physical resources, they have stock on hand. They have 2 stores in Chadstone and the Emporium, and the location and sophistication of stores is very high. They have recipes that are highly sought after and are raved about by customers. They also have a private blend of matcha tea called the Kyo Tea House Yuji Matcha. Their intangible resources, the knowledge, they're known as experts in matcha, and they have a capacity to innovate. They introduced pearl tea on the 14th of April 2018, so customers can now add black pearls to their tea. They also have a lot of brand awareness and positive perceptions of their product. This is evident through them having 1,602 followers on Instagram. The capabilities of Kyo Tea House, they have physical stores in Chadstone and the Emporium where they distribute their products. Management capabilities, they have an ability to envision future drink trends, especially in the matcha space, and they've expanded and changed their menu a number of times to fit in with these. They have a signature blend from the hills of Yuji Kyoto of matcha. They have good marketing capabilities. They make regular social media posts on both their Facebook and Instagram. They have innovation, as I spoke before. They introduced the black pearl tea to customers. Now on to whether Kyo Tea House has a competitive advantage based on the model of core competencies by Hansen et al. And the one by Collis and Montgomery. So starting off with the signature blend of matcha with the Hansen et al. Model, yes, it's valuable. Yes, it's also rare because it's only possessed by them. It is hard to copy because they've developed a private blend, but it is not non-substitutable. Other companies can come out with their own signature blend of matcha. Now on to the Collis and Montgomery method. It is hard to copy it because it's a signature blend. The durability is strong because the resource doesn't depreciate quickly. It does create value for matcha drinkers, but it's probably not the biggest value creator in their business. But it is substitutable, and they haven't said if theirs is competitively superior to anybody else. Now I'll be looking at their matcha food products and drinks. So starting off with the Hansen et al. Model, yes, it's valuable. It's what they sell. Some of their recipes are rare. They're different to a lot of other matcha companies in that space. Is it hard to copy? Not necessarily. It's hard to copy the exact recipe, but it's not hard to copy the same types of foods and drinks, and they can be substituted. With the Collis and Montgomery, yes, it can be copied, so it is the imitability. Durability, it can continue. The resource never depreciates because they can continue to bring them out. It is a big resource creator in the business. The substitutability, yes, they can be substituted. And does it give them competitive superiority? At the moment it does, because they've got the best matcha food in that space. Therefore, from both criteria, they don't have any core competencies or long-term competitive advantages, but I would say that they have a short-term competitive advantage with both of these until somebody else comes in, and then they can easily take that competitive advantage.
Now we'll move on to understanding and analysing the external environment in which Kyo Tea House operates in. A firm's external environment is broken down into 3 segments: general, industry and competitor environments. A firm's strategic actions are influenced by the conditions in all 3 parts. For the purpose of this assignment, we will be focusing on the industry environment alone. The industry environment is a set of factors which directly influences a firm's competitive actions and responses. An industry is defined as a group of firms producing products that are close substitutes. Now move to evaluating the competitive strength and position of the cafe industry using Porter's 5 forces model. This theory proposes that there are 5 forces that determine the competitive intensity and attractiveness of a market. The first force we'll review is the threat of new entrants into an industry. This force identifies how easy or difficult it is for new companies to enter the industry, dependent on the level of entry barriers. According to Ibis World, the cafe industry in which Kyo Tea House belongs to has a high threat of new entrants. Low entry barriers include capital requirements, brand loyalty, and government regulation. Capital requirements are unlikely to prevent new entrants as the industry doesn't require major expenditure. The major costs are likely to have leasing options, for example, storefront and equipment such as coffee machines. Furthermore, Australian cafe consumers are typically focused on quality and convenience over brand loyalty. The next force we'll consider is a rivalry amongst established companies. This force is a major determinant on how competitive and profitable an industry is. In competitive industries, firms have to compete aggressively for market share, which results in low profits. Rivalry among established companies is considered a high threat in the cafe industry. 4 factors impact the intensity of rivalry. They include industry competitive structure, demand condition, cost condition, and the height of exit barriers. Ibis World characterises the cafe industry competitive structure as fragmented. This is where an industry holds a low level of market share concentration. The 2018-19 figures reported the cafe industry had no major player accounting for more than 5% revenue. The report goes on to forecast the demand for cafe beverages are anticipated to remain solid. Researchers have highlighted the increasing consumer trends in health consciousness, premium foods, and ethical consumerism. As touched on earlier, the cafe industry does not have enormous outlays. Therefore, there are minimal cost conditions and exit barriers that would affect companies. Force from Porter's model is the threat of bargaining power of buyers. The bargaining power of buyers refers to the ability of buyers to bargain down prices charged or expect more in terms of quality. Due to the amount of cafes, buyers are spoilt for choice. Buyers are extremely powerful in this industry. However, rather than bargaining down prices, they are expecting more from the seller in terms of quality, innovation, and sustainability. Furthermore, the cafe industry has low switching costs. Switching costs arise when the customer invests time, energy, and money switching from the products offered by one established company to the products offered by a new entrant. The next of Porter's forces is the bargaining power of suppliers. The primary products of the industry are coffee and tea. The inputs themselves can be quite costly as they are only grown in certain parts of the world. Kyo Tea House, for example, would have limited bargaining power as it imports its matcha tea from one town in Japan. This lack of power can deter new and existing business. The last of Porter's forces is the threat of substitutes. A substitute performs the same or similar function as an industry's product by different means. The cafe industry has a high threat of substitutes as the end product aims to fill the basic need of thirst. The cafe industry's competitors are those who serve drinks typically caffeinated. In recent years, there have been an increased presence of juice bars and tea stations. Similarly, the cafe industry can be substituted for instant or pre-packaged drinks, including instant coffee, tea leaves, or even refrigerated drinks like iced coffee and tea. Through Porter's model, we have identified that the cafe industry has low entry barriers, strongly positioned suppliers and buyers, several threats of substitute products, and high rivalry among competitors. Given these factors, we can conclude that the cafe industry is not an attractive industry.
Within industries lie different strategic groups. Companies in an industry often differ because of the way they strategically position their products in the market. Some factors that can affect product positioning include quality, market segments, pricing policy, and customer service. If a business is offering a similar product to the same target customers, then this results in intense competition. Kyo Tea House's main competitors include cafes that are located in Emporium and Chadstone, in particular businesses that sell matcha products. As seen on the screen, many competitors sell similar products to Kyo Tea House. Strategic Group Map identifies a business's position based on 2 main factors. According to Ibis World, 2 of the main success factors for the cafe and coffee shop industry include business expertise of operators and effective quality control. Touching on a few competitors on the map, Furada Matcha House is positioned to have an effective quality control method. However, based on the information available, such as Facebook reviews, there seems to be a poor level of customer service. Additionally, the company have no website, which indicates they have a low level of operators with business expertise. Another competitor includes Starbucks, who is recognised internationally as the world's largest coffee chain, according to Ibis World. There are many good reviews about this product's quality at the Chadstone store. However, similarly to Furada Matcha House, the customer service is lacking, as evidenced by Google reviews. Kayo Tea House are positioned rather high on both axes. Majority of their reviews are positive about their product offering, stating it is of high quality and delicious. However, there are some negative reviews, as stated earlier in the presentation, regarding customer service and unfriendly staff. This consequently impacts their strategic position in the market. Overall, their quality control is great, but their customer service is hindering them from reaching their potential success. Hill, Jones and Schilling in 2015 asserted that an implication of strategic groups is that a company's closest competitors are within its strategic group, not those in other strategic groups of the industry. In this case, Kayo Tea House's closest competitor in its strategic group would be Furata Tea House. Business level strategy, in simple terms, means for a company to exploit its core competencies, and the purpose is for the company to create differences that stand out compared to its competitors. There are 5 types of business level strategies, which are also known as Porter's 5 competitive strategies. First, there is a low-cost provider strategy, which appeals to a broad spectrum of customers because it provides the product or service at the lowest price. Then there is the focused low-cost strategy, which targets a narrow buying segment while simultaneously providing a lower cost than rivals. Thirdly, there is the best cost provider strategy, which gives customers best price for a differentiated product. The other 2 competitive strategies focus largely on differentiation, one including the focus differentiation strategy, which is implemented by targeting a narrow buying segment and offering a desired product better than rivals. And lastly, the broad differentiation strategy, which distinguishes an offering that will appeal to the largest share of prospective buyers.
Broad differentiation refers to a combined set of actions taken to produce goods or services at a reasonable cost, where consumers perceive these differences as important. It incorporates features that appeal to buyers and creates a distinct product offering. For Kayo Tea House, their distinct product offering is their exclusive matcha products, which offer a unique taste and considerable health benefits in comparison to similar products on the market. These differences can increase their sales if they are perceived as better or more unique than their competitors, and can help to establish brand loyalty if consumers associate a positive difference with the brand. There are 3 main ways in which Kayo Tea House delivers superior value and differentiation. The first is incorporating tangible features such as styling. Kayo Tea House's products are incredibly visually appealing, and the physical store appearance almost has a boutique feel to it. All of these tangible elements can differentiate their brand to consumers in a positive way. Incorporating intangible features such as buyer image enables consumers to associate Kayo Tea House in a positive way. Through identifying the health benefits of matcha, consumers are able to perceive themselves as a healthier and happier version, enhancing consumer satisfaction in a non-economic way. Finally, consumers are able to define the value of Kayo Tea House's products through offering the buyer an affordable health option, convenience, styling, and advertising in comparison to their competitors. As stated before, focus differentiation is appropriate in a niche market, which is fitting for Kayo Tea House due to the limited focus on matcha products in their industry. Their focus strategy would target particular buyer groups, younger consumers who are health conscious, or geographic markets, Chadstone and Emporium. However, there are always competitive risks in focus differentiation, as competitors will try and match or beat Kayo Tea House's capabilities in serving their target niche, and the specialised needs of their niche market can possibly change in the future. Currently, Kayo Tea House have a small, short-term competitive advantage. Research and available information identifies that they offer the best matcha products in terms of taste and styling in comparison to their competitors. Kayo Tea House have adopted a broad differentiation strategy, which works best when there are fewer rivals following the same approach. In their case, there are very few competitors with the exact same concept as Kayo Tea House. However, it is uncertain that they will sustain a long-term competitive advantage, as there is a possibility of similar matcha businesses arising, and consumer demand of matcha products may change in the future.